What was your relationship like with the entire Terror Squad?
Um, so early on, we would like meet up at Loud Records or whatever. And I remember like one time Joel had he paid for a van, a TS van, to go to like Jones Beach. It was like some Freaknik weekend. And he basically bought like all these TS t-shirts. So we was out there giving out t-shirts. Be honest, we were like the shit out there because we was giving out them t-shirts. Man, everybody was flocking to us because we was like the plug, you know? So that was my first like occurrence, like just being and promoting with them or for them. And then next thing you know, I meet Tony Sunshine. He becomes family. He's coming to the studio like every day. And then Triple Sace, that's when he kind of like was about to slide off from TS and he was starting time with Tell. So he started working with me with his artists all the time. And then I had already had a relationship with Cube, you know, Uncle B had taken me to when he was recording 24 Karat Gold. And when he did that, he was like, yo, come through and make a beat for me. So, you know, I sat in the studio for him for like a good 12 hours, just making some shit right off the whim. And then that's how I met Sunkiss. Sunkiss was there. So, you know, things just started evolving and I became like a Terror Squad affiliate to some extent. I wasn't Terror
Right,
Squad.
you was in the multiverse now.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
was in
yeah,
the
yeah,
multiverse
yeah.
now.
And it was a nice place to be because, you know, you could get in and you could keep it moving, but at the same time, you know, these are people that you rubbing elbows with that are becoming your brothers, unbeknownst to me at the time, you know. And
Right.
next thing you know, I'm making songs with Tony. We just chopping it up, chilling like we brothers that, you know, and then, you know, Cube and then Sace, and then boom, like I said, now Pun is gone at this time though. So that was a sad part too. Like God only knows what that relationship could have been if he was still around. But Pun had
Yeah, so
passed
let's
away.
let's rewind a little bit with that. So the time that you had with Pun, would you say that you guys were able to develop a close relationship, or was it more of like kind of just like a professional and passing,
Yes.
like what's up? Kind
It was a professional and passive relationship. Again, I didn't have enough time, man. Like I said, when we started off, it was June. I mean, it was December of '98 when we opened the studio. Pun had passed away, maybe,
think like February of
yeah.
2000.
So it was like a year and some change, and boom. So when everything was starting to bubble and we were starting to make these relationships, we lost him. So when that
Right.
happened, God rest his soul, that kind of like threw everybody into a frenzy. You know, it was a lot of like hurt and pain throughout the TS squad. I remember that like vividly, man. And you know, at the time, I remember feeling like for everybody because I'm like, damn, I get it. Like this is the big homie. You
He was the
know,
heart and soul of TS.
yeah, yeah. He was the glue to the puzzle. So
Right.
kind of was bad timing for everybody, myself
Right.
included. You know, who knows where? And again, they would speak about that themselves around me, like, damn, you know, who knows why I would have went further if he was still here. Like that was my guy that kept me in position to get to where I was about to go. You know,
So, do you remember the day that you got the news that he had passed? Like, what was your immediate reaction when you found out?
disbelief, man. It was really disbelief. I couldn't believe it because he had just came home from Fat Camp. I remember that. I
Right.
remember everybody talking about him being away at Fat Camp and like,
He had just lost
all right,
100 pounds, and he
lost 100
right,
pounds.
and he said it
So
on.
you
It's
like,
so
all right,
hard. You know what I mean? I'm trying to
exactly.
live.
That was that time. So everybody just like, yo, he about to make a turn for the better. Like this is where he's getting himself progressively better to be a better person, physically, health wise. And that was very unexpected, man. Like, he loved his kids though too, man. I tell you that. Like his kids was always around him. He'd be in the studio, his kids would be right there. It could be midnight, whatever. Like he loved his family. He was a family oriented dude. And that shit meant a lot to me because that's who I am. Like family first,
Right.
music is always gonna be right next to it though. So I understood. I liked that shit. Like that shit was inspiring to me.
So you were talking about the aura of that time within TS after Pun had passed, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like the conversations that you were hearing from people, was it more selfish in the sense of like, dang, like what's gonna happen for me now that Pun is gone? Or was it more, you know what I'm saying, like focused on the actual loss and hurt?
Nah. First and foremost, it was the loss of hurt, man. I mean,
Okay. Because I've
grown
heard
men.
other people say certain things like, you know what I'm saying, that more focused more on like the selfish side of it.
So I'm gonna tell you from my side, my perspective. I
Mm-hmm.
watched these brothers drop tears, man, like randomly. Like it wasn't like just be sitting there and then out of nowhere just start crying, man, because it's like, damn, my brother's gone, you know. And then you gotta sit there and
And
console them.
you talking Cuban, Sace, and Tony,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just
You got the
everybody. You seen Joe cry too?
nah. So
Okay.
that's a totally different, situation. But those brothers there, yeah, man. Yeah, man. I can vouch for all three of them, like being really like heartbroken, man. And really not on some where my career is gonna go. I guess everybody already felt like, yo, I got something set in stone, I can move with it. But he was the big homie that was about to take us all to the next level with the foundation, you know, and being signed to the foundation, however they was, like even if they wasn't signed, like Cube had his own thing already going on with Atlantic at that time. So he still was always going to be the foundation no matter what. I know that for
Right.
sure because that's the big homie. You know, Tony, forget it. He was all over all they records, man. Like if they record came out, that was his record coming out because he had so many songs on each one of their albums that it was just like a no brainer. And Sace, like I said, my brother, love him. I think he really got to a point where he just was tired of the business and wanted to do his own business. Like he didn't want to deal with the tired of the business he was dealing with at that time. I can only speak for what I saw, and he was moving forward as well. With he had some artists that was popping that they was doing. They was very talented people, man. You know,
Was
and
Prospect around? Like, do you remember seeing Prospect a lot?
nah, nah,
What about Armageddon?
nope, nah, not
Wow.
not in that circle with us. Nah, they was doing their own thing. You know, that was just that. Like I ain't really have no occurrences or run-ins with them at all. They was on a whole nother planet with their music and whatever they was doing.